All right, y'all, welcome back. Yes, I'm hearing a lot of conversation about the uh, Pac-12 receiving a uh, possibly pursuer for a new TV contract deal, um, and that pursuer is Peacock or NBC Universal. Um, Let me just unpack a few things before everyone gets uh, head over heels with this narrative. Now, yes, there hasn't been any confirmed sources, reporting that they are currently, uh, in negotiations with the Pac-12. Now, that doesn't mean that Kleofkoff did not pursue NBC Universal as it is his duty to pursue potential TV partners as a part of the job description as a commissioner. And it's in the best interest of the Pac-12 to explore every potential option that's out there available. Now, at this point, we are talking about a conglomerate of a major TV network with Comcast, NBC Universal. Now, when you look at this, there's three things that we should pay attention to. The first being that, remember, ESPN, Apple, which was the leading offers for Pac-12, is no longer interested. So with that being said, NBC Universal, or should I just say Comcast, is aware of ESPN and Apple not being interested. So what does that mean? Well, let's look at the scenario where you have multiple bidders or multiple competitors bidding for the same product. Well, that's not the case here. This is simply a case of trying to find someone that would house your product, basically. And you know how you go to this door or that door, or should I say this business to that business, or this service to that service, and each one of them, or let's say one at a time, is saying, no, I'll pass, no, I'll pass, no, I'll pass, and you're just going down the line to see what you can get. That's kind of like what's going on, obviously, right? Now, the second thing to consider is the value. Remember, you can't just create value out of thin air. One of my videos that was previously recorded discussed how there was no other considered valuable products that are out there. Now, there is some programs that are out there that are valuable, but the pickings are slim. The Big 12 beat the Pac-12 to this punch by being proactive, not reactive. And by being proactive, they were able to pretty much, do an evaluation of all the programs, and they were able to get the analysis show which ones were considered to be the best option. Now, when you look at it now, as far as expanding, there's not much to expand on. Now, I would advise there's some programs that I believe that should have already been pursued and on the table, but it seems like there's no enthusiasm. There's no what's that word? There's no efforts that is being put into the expansion side of things. Now, yes, we're focused on, TV partnering. That just means staying as par, that you're not really interested in any expanding at the moment. So with that being said, that also leaves a question mark when negotiating. You're looking at the value of what is presented, of the 10 team scenario. And we're looking at the uncertainty of Washington and Oregon. These TV programs know that there's uncertainty with certain members of the conference, and they're not going to give a high value or overrated value when they know that it's a potential that these schools could leave at any moment, right? So it's more of like, why do the deal? And we can't grant you the number that you're asking for when you have this type of instability within the conference. So that's the second point, the instability and the value, the current value of what it is. Now, the third point that should be noted is that the Pac-12 owes Comcast, what is it, $50 million, which is about $5 million per team. Now look at it like this. There are $50 million in the hole. This sounds more of like a pulling of the coattail, asking, hey, how are y'all going to pay me my money or our money back that you owe us? That's what this seems like, because this is the other element involved with negotiations. Because if you present your value to a new partner, right? Or let's say Fox or somebody, right? If they were interested, you still have that 50 million on the table that has to be paid to Comcast. So that has to be factored in the sum or the overall aspect. How is that going to be paid moving forward? So that's a whole nother element involved with the value and the negotiation. And to be honest with you, it doesn't seem like these members can afford $5 more additional million to pay out. So that means they would be decreased by, on average, 1 to 1.5 million a year from the overall value of their program. That's if they sign for 5 years, right? If they sign for less, then they would be owing like 2 million per year, 1.8 or something like that. So you can decrease the value. Let's say if it was 20 million or 22 million, that number would become 20 million, period, in payout. So you're dealing with a numbers issue far as payments. Now, moving forward, if you look at those 3 points, you can honestly say that if NBC Universal does do a deal with the Pac-12, it's not going to be higher than what the Big 12 is currently receiving, period. It doesn't matter how you pluck the turkey, how you skin the chicken, or how you twist and turn this scenario. The Pac-12 is not going to hit the mark or receive the number that the Big 12 has received. And that's really, to be honest with you, what is the reason for this delay? It's taking time and time and time to try to figure out which partner can make par with the Big 12. And as you can see from this TV partner to that TV partner to the next, the number, they just can't reach that number. So it's good and well to say that the number is not going to come close to what the Big 12 have received, starting at 31.8 million or 7 million. And as time progresses, increases to about 42 million. The Pac-12 numbers are not going to amount to what the Big 12 numbers are. So let's get that understood. So now that we understand this, we can move forward with deciding, should the Pac-12 pursue linear to stay relevant as it relates to viewership, or should they disappear with streaming? Now, mind you, NBC Universal or Comcast NBC Universal is a great organization, but there's other factors of availability. Now, if there's no availability, then they can't make their money back. If they don't have multiple slots to place these games in, then how could they get the advertising money and so on, and the sponsorship and everything else that comes with the TV revenue to generate a profit? So these are all of the elements working against the Pac-12. Now, as I mentioned before, it's up to the presidents to decide how they want to proceed with relocation, realignment, so on and so forth. Because if you're schools like Stanford and Cal, you're probably not concerned regardless of these numbers, and you're just going to wait it out. But I can guarantee you, the athletic-based programs like Oregon, Washington, the Four Corner schools, they're not fit to stick around and stay and be considered in a dwindling conference that once was. So, only time will tell. Stay tuned for the next announcement in relation to the Pac-12 TV deal. Once again, this video is brought to you by Global News Sports. Like, share this video, subscribe, and leave comments on what you think. Will Comcast cut a deal with the Pac-12? And if they do you believe that it will meet the number as the Big 12? If so, leave the comments in the section. Thank y'all once again. Have a great day.